I want to tell you why I love Panerai, and it's a new change. I used to not like them because I also thought, like many people, where I thought it's very gaudy, it's very garish, it's very in your face. It's like thuggish in a way where, I don't know, it's almost a little cocky. And I just didn't like it. I think they're too big. There's a lot of people complain about the case shape and so on as far as it not being comfortable. I put one on, I thought it was actually rather comfortable, a bit top heavy in when I was wearing it, but not in a terrible way. It was something that I was really surprised to feel. I want to tell you about why I think that Panerai has switched in my brain to being something I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I like Panerai now. What happened? So in the watch world, as you know, tastes change quite a bit and they change really fast. And it's like just all of a sudden you like something. And what you used to think was disgusting is now your grail piece. And you just can't really explain it. It just happens over and over again. And for me, Panerai has become something I'm like, oh wow, I really like Panerai. And I want to point out, it does look the way that I thought it was originally, until you start digging into a little bit better models. So when we look at what they actually do, they are pretty beautiful. Even the garish ones here, just a little over the top, the skeletonized face here. This is nice, but it's also not for me. And if I saw somebody wearing it, I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you like it. I could give a crap. So I want to point out things that I do, because when I look at it, I see this. I see minimalism, I see precision, I see design, I see absolute consistency. The crown guard, the font, the layout, the case shape, the fact that I don't know any other watch brand that just throws their watch on leather for most of the things. I can't think of one. But Panerai sits in this area where you'd figure they would throw it on steel. And they do have steel bracelets, but it's like they have rubber straps, of course, but a lot of them go on leather. And it's really interesting to me. And when we look at this one, this is the one I love. Like I love the white face one. I think it's absolutely stunning. And it really highlights their minimalist design approach. You look at the date window, you look at the power reservation. All of this shows that Panerai is actually form following function. That's how it was originated. Now, if we look at the crown guard, okay, a lot of people say, oh, it's uncomfortable, it's weird, it's too much. If you look into it, you'll find that the crown guard actually was a design hybrid working with Rolex on the pocket watch that they used to have. It's not like this invention that Panerai did. It was like a mix with Rolex and Panerai, pocket watch, then on Panerai. It was made for divers because the thing is, that was a weak point in the watch. That was one of the places where the watch could fail, and the divers' lives required on less vulnerability. So covering that is awesome. Now, I think it actually looks pretty awesome, to be honest, and it makes it feel a little bit more bulletproof. And it's just cool, and it does feel good to unlatch that. It's so distinctive. You can see it across the room, see a little glimmer of it, and you're like, oh, Panerai, that's the crown guard, and that's frigging awesome. I think a watch should always have something like that, and they usually do. To me, aside from the font choice, the crown guard is a massive Panerai indicator for me. Now, with that being said, again, I want to highlight the idea of looking at Panerai going, okay, the form follows the function. Yes, it's beautiful, but it wasn't intended originally for that. The case shape was made for comfort. It's not some egotistical, weird case shape. It's for divers. That's where it started. And that's also where a lot of this rubber strap origin comes from, because it will fit over suits and so on. So I look at it as, oh, wow, this is like a Cybertruck of the watches, where it follows what the goal was. And if you follow all watches in general, they are all form follows function. It's about time. There's hour markers, there's hands, there's case. Those are there because they have to be there. So you have to make a choice. Now, what I mean by that is Panerai made a solid choice, and you don't see them change. You can look at some watch brands and the models just look so drastically different. Even Rolex, for example, like The Datejust looks totally different than the Explorer, which looks totally different than the Daytona. And then there's the Rainbow Daytona. They're all very different. Where Panerai we know who we are, and screw you if you don't like it. It's actually pretty beautiful and minimalist. And another thing is, let's say you're not a diver and you still want some more function that works for your day-to-day life. There's a GMT version, which is wonderful and it's beautiful. At least I love the white face one. There's other ones like this one is much more sporty. Now, for a beat, I want to just say how much cooler a sporty watch toning and design looks with this bracelet and the red markers on the Panerai look. It looks awesome, but it doesn't look cheap teenager. It doesn't look like I just graduated college. It looks like I'm driving a really nice sports car to the beach. That's what that screams. It may not be yacht, but hey, I'm in a convertible, I'm in a Porsche, I'm going to the beach, and I'm gonna go swimming or surfing. It's awesome, it's fun, it's weekender, it's dad hat, it's wealth, like stealth wealth. That's what I see here. Okay, so now I want to talk about the size because I think the size and the physical attributes are really important for a lot of people. Not everybody has giant wrists. Not everybody is just a bigger person that can wear the 44 millimeter. Although it does, the straps do go straight down, so you can actually pull it off for a lot of people. But what happened to me is I love Sylvester Stallone. I think the guy is one of my idols, a role model growing up. He actually loves Panerai. Now, for me, when I think of watches, I also have association. And when I think of brands, it's association. And I think of Panerai and I think Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone wears it. It's good enough for me. If I were to wear a Panerai, I would think of him every time because he's a huge fan. He had so many. I watched his collection one time. And I think he sold off a whole bunch of them, but kept some of the most unique special edition ones. And again, he's an influence for everybody in the world, in the movie industry and in fitness, as well as work ethic, because a lot of people don't really realize that he wrote Rocky and starred in it and directed it and turned down so many people to work with because they refused to let him in it. And they said, oh, he had a speech impediment and so on. And he pushed through and said, no, I believe in myself. And when I think of Panerai, I think of that self-belief that Sylvester Stallone has and the fact that he doesn't take any crap from anyone, that he's strong enough and he's proves it. When he walks in a room, everything shows it. And that Panerai is a signifier of his character in my eyes. Now, if you don't appreciate the Sylvester Stallone angle, I hope you can appreciate it was a supplier for the Royal Italian Navy back in 1949. And what that says to me is Panerai secretly, in their own way now, has it as a marketing thing, but it wasn't marketing then. Again, it was function. That's the key here, is Panerai is no bells and whistles in the places that are showing off or too cool or think something more of themselves. Which is funny that we think that way about Panerai, or at least I do, in a lot of circumstances, when in fact it's actually the opposite. So you could say Panerai fell off from a great height because its reputation now, and has been for a while, not the best. It's not been terrible. It's not like Hublot or anything. It always has garnered some respect and has a huge cult following. People still love it and people respect it and appreciate it. But I'm pretty sure their sales aren't probably as good as they used to, which is sad. However, you're not seeing them whine and be desperate for your attention. You don't see them blasting ads everywhere. If you look in a magazine, you'll see a Panerai. Sure, it's a single page Panerai. Here's some stats, what we do. It's not flashy. You look at a Cartier ad, although funny and awesome, it just shows the watch with a tiger. And you're like, what is this? This is dumb. It's so flimsy if you think of it that way. Although I love Cartier. They're awesome. But still, Panerai is like a no fuss. That's the guy that wears a Panerai. It's a strong person who can do the thing that you need them to do. So I look at this as value over flash. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once I saw that Panerai was absolutely a phenomenal watch and that it isn't trying to show off, that is not trying to be something it's not. It's not desperate for your attention. It's the background player that's ordering the troops in front of them. Panerai is a king of sorts, and there's strong force that you don't want to continue to misunderstanding. In fact, I recommend looking more into Panerai. Look at their collections. Take a closer look. Stop ruling out the fact that everything that you see often is 44 millimeter. Look at the 40 millimeter line. They're absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I really love this white face one. I think it's absolutely stunning. That would be my pick. I think it could be a showstopper. And if Panerai kept going in this more clean look for their faces and hands, I think that they could really improve their marketing and their reputation and get people to buy more. I think you should look into them. So if you think that Panerai suits you and you're not totally sure, hit the link below and our team will talk to you and see if it's the right one for you. Till next time, cheers.